Vacation time last week, huh?
Yeah, we it's the sixth time we've done it. We do a full week in Outer Banks, North Carolina. It was my wife's idea to kind of, her brother's in Missouri with his family, her sister's in Louisville with her family. It was a way for all of us to converge on one location with Jen's parents and even their grandmother, and it's been great. So 6 years we've been going down. The grandkids are all close and good friends, and nice to get away and just recharge.
I think it was 2 years ago when you came in, you had this glowing red lobster sunburn. You don't look that bad this time.
I learned. I learned. So.
All right. Today, the 28th of June, is National Insurance Day. I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I did not.
Now you do.
See, in my world, Jeff, every day is National Insurance Day, but it's good that there is a specific day. There must be a specific reason why they call it National Insurance Day, but who knows why.
I didn't delve into the why, where, or who on it, but I figured that, since there's so much that is in the entire industry of insurance, from automotive to, business insurance, health insurance, life insurance, we haven't done a 101 in a while.
Right.
Like the fundamentals, like we just had a chat with Les Ward. Mm-hmm. When you bring your car in to get it inspected.
Yep.
Having that dang insurance card.
Not a bad thing to have.
All the time.
Yeah.
Let's go deeper.
So, funny thing, too, by the way, my insurance renewed on the 23rd, and my ID cards were here.
Nice.
So I am driving. In fact, I still haven't put them in. So I'm driving with expired ID cards in my truck right now for those who want to pull me over and test it. But yeah, so and I hate to say it, but all right, insurance is a necessary evil. But you can take the evil part out of it if you do it right. It's a necessity. You need it. I was driving through New York City on the way to and from vacation, and the amount of fender benders I saw was just astonishing. People, the way they drive, and it's the way we all say it, right? I'm not worried so much about you. I'm worried about the other guy. That other guy gets a bad rap. Who is that other guy? Because apparently none of us are. It's the other guy.
Anybody that we think isn't paying attention and just caused damage to our investment.
Yeah, so the amount of people I saw texting or being diverting their attention to things other than what they were doing, which was driving a motor vehicle. Boy, if that's not proof in the pudding of why insurance is beneficial, I don't know what is. You're driving a 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80,000 or more vehicle. You want to make sure you have appropriate coverage. So the insurance 101 part of auto, then I'll move right along, is don't get the basics, because the basics are going to let you down. All right. When you were deciding what you want for insurance, it's very easy to look at that price tag and start whittling away at that cost. But it's when a claim occurs that you're going to want to have everything that you whittled away at the time of the inception of the policy. So don't go low on liability. Don't go low on medical payments. Don't go low on the uninsured motorist, which you really can't. It usually mirrors the liability. If there's enhancements and you don't have AAA, or you want zero glass, or if you want to have low deductibles and not have a huge out-of-pocket expense, there's so many things you can do that that's really where the most important decisions are made, because 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, you could be surprised if a loss occurs.
That's right. And I'm going to use myself as an example, like I always like to do, okay? Because then that way someone can't say, well, you picked on me.
You can pick on me. I've made mistakes too.
So my car is 18 years old, okay? My car is not a $50,000 car.
Right.
So when I, in my mind, think about my insurance coverage, I don't think about 50, 75, $80,000 in coverage when it comes to me.
Right.
But
you hit somebody else
of an accident, right? Because it seems the average 4x4 truck out there is about $60,000.
Very close, yeah. And you think about state minimum in Vermont. If you have liability, the minimum liability coverage is $25,000 bodily injury per person, $50,000 bodily injury per accident, $10,000 property damage.
And that $10,000 means that my insurance company would cover $10,000 if I totaled the rig.
Totaled their rig,
right? And the rest has to come
from you somehow.
From me somehow,
because you're still liable. Your negligence and liability do not go away. It's just your insurance companies hit it for you. They're the front-facing dollar, so to speak. So, the same thing holds true for homeowner insurance. Go with the deductibles that make sense. Remember, a homeowner policy is intended to replace your home, not cover it for what you want it to be covered for. If you buy a house for $249,000, but the replacement cost is $325,000, you're going to be insuring for the $325,000 because the intent of a homeowner is to rebuild like kind of quality what you have. So that's where remember, there's a drastic difference from an auto policy. An auto policy's actual cash value, where they're going to determine, the condition of the vehicle, the mileage on the vehicle, those types of things will impact the value. All right. Whereas on the home is a home on a home. All right. They're not depreciating. So if your home was built in 1901, or if it was built in 2022, varying some pre-1940 methods of calculations for plaster and lath and all that stuff, really, the square footage is going to be very similar. Then you talk about the finishes and the quality and things like that. So never think that you can insure your home for the cost or for the assessed value from the town. That's not the case. Go with deductibles that make sense. Make sure you have the coverage available. A lot of companies have service line coverage these days. A lot of people in the village of Lindenville, the town of St. Johnsbury, and other towns that are supported by sewer and water from the town. Remember that break-off point from the road to your house? From the road to your house is yours.
That's right.
Service line coverage is available. So it's about just having some commonality and just understanding what's available. Workers' compensation, if you have employees, you better have it. If you're directing people what to do and how to do and where to do, you technically have an employee, whether they're a subcontractor in your mind or not. Don't toe the line. You want to kind of make sure you're doing your due diligence on that. And business owner's policy, the best protection on there, of course, is building, but also there's going to be loss of income, loss of wages, being able to sustain employees if you have a loss. So many things to consider here that we could really ruin everybody's day and talk for longer than we should, and I will not do that.
Well, no. I mean, the idea was to just, touch vaguely and briefly on what we did, but we got out all of the important points.
Yeah.
And to me, again, I have always, or had always, gone with the lowest price.
Yeah.
Which was always the least amount of coverage.
Right.
Not good advice.
You're leaving yourself more exposed by having less coverage and getting the hamburger today and paying for it tomorrow is not always going to be the case. It's not always going to be ideal, because you could put yourself in further financial harm by not having proper protection. Don't become insurance poor. There's ways to leverage the coverage and the cost. There's people out there that can guide you through that process. Maybe you're with the wrong company if it's this much money for basic coverage, where maybe you could be paying the same amount for more coverage with another company. So don't ever think there's few options. Life insurance, don't think about it too late. Too many people do. You start getting ailments, chronic conditions, diagnosis of chronic or terminal conditions. You want to make sure you're protecting your family and protecting those who you love. So even whether you have kids in your household still, or they're all grown up and 30 and 40 and 50-year-old adults, do your best to try to understand how you can protect them, so maybe they don't have an unexpected cost if you don't have the funds to pay for your end-of-life expenses, your funeral, and things like that. So there's some real high-level whys, and the necessary evil of insurance. Really, I hate saying that, because I know we want to feel that it's evil because we all think it's against us, but it really is intended to be a benefit for us if you do it right.
All right. For folks to carry on a conversation on any one of these subjects, how can they do that with you?
Sure. You can give us a call, 748-5224. We're right on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Online, thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency.
All righty, Mike. Good to have you back, and we'll do it again in a week.
Sounds like a plan.
After 4th of July.
After 4th of July.
All right.
Have a safe one.
All right. Music now from Franklin Mackay. Magic 97.7.